Why would you keep information about abusers unless you want to abuse me? So, instead of you being a superhero and helping me fight abusers, you send more abusers to abuse me. So then you can say that it's your abuse story. So today, I wake up and I'm running late. I was like 4:45, and I have to get here by this thing make my face look so different. I have to get here by 5, and no lift is picking up. Now at 4:45 in the morning. So I try to ask my dad to bring me. He's like, no. So my sister, when we first started this, my sister did this thing, and she was like, the first answer is always no. So I'm like, okay, if y'all following this stupid ass shit, then what I'm gonna do is ask you again. In the middle of it, I'm just like, you know what? I'm so tired of you being a bitch. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give not two fucks. Because y'all, whether I'm nice to him or not, he will still abuse me. Which is the same thing with all the abusers. You see, no matter what we do, it's like it's always something that they want. And for him, I don't know what the fuck that is. So last night, he also came in and said, no, you're going to give me $350 by tomorrow night. I said, no, I'm not, because I don't have $350. I just started my job. So it's an unrealistic goal. You see what I'm saying? For you to think that I'm going to have a job, I'm just going to get a job and then come and say this. And see, this is all because they've been recording in my apartment. So they'll record inside the apartment, the classroom realm, and then try to interpret it into something else that doesn't make no sense. So you know that Terry at the homeless shelter had promised, family promise, which if y'all never paid attention, was the first homeless shelter in Irving that me and Blake went to. And that was the first time I saw how cruel a person could be. So she said we could stay there until I got on my feet, right? So then Terry all of a sudden says, after I get my taxes, she says, oh, you got the money now, you can go. She was trying to put me out, and it was like every day, it'd be another sort of altercation. I believe she was like one of the first, what are these people? What was Nova Academy? Like what do they call those schools? Like a charter school. One of the first charter school people that I went to, right? And she was asking me like a lot of like inappropriate questions, like, would you have a baby out of wedlock? Would you do all this stuff? It's like that stuff is not required for your job, right? Because that's who she reminds me of. So this woman again, another stalker, was stalking me since I had an interview with her at a school, about a school. And again, this is 2007 when I get my certification. In 2007, her school closed down because of inappropriate practices. You see what I'm saying? So that was it. Like, you asking people for stuff that's not even a part of fucking society. Like, bitch, this is not fucking the lost times or whatever the fuck you think this is. I mean, she really was in there asking me some personal shit. Do you sleep around and all this? I mean, she was really in my fucking business. And I'm like, and I answered the question because y'all, at this time, it's like my first interview. And I'm talking about she was like drilling me, like trying to really go through some shit. You see what I'm saying? So now I get the job at Nova Academy. And then here comes Cynthia Peters. You a weak person, all this different stuff. But you a thief. You know what I'm saying? You undegreed, you uneducated. You are all these different things. It's like people have a tendency to name call or try to put you down when they don't fit the criteria of what the fuck they are. That's not imposter syndrome. You just a fucking liar. You know what I'm saying? At least imposter syndrome, you have the qualifications. You just don't know how they fit in there. Because that in itself is like, they've already set you up like you don't know or you're not good enough. And you are. And plus these positions, we think that these people are more important than they are. So then we start holding ourselves to a whole other criteria, and you start to have imposter syndrome. And there's no need for it. The reason why it is because you actually are qualified. Now, unless you don't have the certification or the experience, then you need to start questioning what the fuck is going on. See what I'm saying? That's when you need to start doing that. But what I'm finding is people that are qualified will have imposter syndrome. Unqualified people seem to just shout out and do whatever the fuck they want to. So at this point, I'm being bullied. Bullied for what? They don't even fucking know. Ain't no proof of me doing anything wrong, but they gonna bully me anyway because you are abusive. You see what I'm saying? The entire family is abusive. And you still sitting here trying to still go through some shit that don't make sense. So anyway, I'm going over those things that don't make sense. The first thing is, if you are comparing us to a white family, it's demeaning. At any point, if you mention Brandon Clark or bring him into this situation, it's a demeaning situation because he does not have the qualifications or the quality of life that any of us have had. You see what I'm saying? Even though it is still abusive, whatever, he is actually more abusive than they could ever be. You see? Because there's some things that you don't do. You don't put things in people's food. That's one thing. You will get killed in East St. Louis for doing that. That's how we grew up. It don't matter how fucking mad you get, how pissed off you are, you do not put anything in anybody's food. You beat their ass. You hit them in the eye. But you don't put shit in their food. You see what I'm saying? Nothing that will hurt them inside their food. We don't do that. Now, if you come to a point where that's something that you need to do or that you want to do, you got a fucking problem. And that's a death penalty for real. In East St. Louis, that is how we grew up. I'm talking about they tell us from day one, do not fuck with people's food. If you got to do that, don't cook it. They will tell you from day one. You don't even get the feeling. You see? So, any comparison to a white person is actually an insult because we are the ones that actually were more classy, more put together, more organized. You see? That is not something that we should even be thinking about. Again, listening and trying to peek inside my classroom, inside my life, inside my car. That was a school design. That was designed by me, myself, and I. Those things actually belong to me. Those are my ideas. They are not some white boys from Cahokia. They are not some black ugly ass woman from St. Louis. They are mine. What would be your reason for following me and listening and stalking and all this different stuff anyway? And then to name the abuse. You see what I'm saying? To hear abuse in any part of that and not even try to help me in any way. That's kind of fucked up. So next. The next thing, you don't do anything. Y'all, that's from my classroom. And let me tell you why. I would sit in the classroom with my students, and sometimes they would actually have issues with each other. Now, when they had issues with each other, I cut that shit off as soon as it started. If it's issues of jealousy, I would tell them, you jealous of her. I see you every day with you looking at her clothes and everything, and you jealous. I tell them, you cannot do that. That is not something that you can do. So then all the other kids might chime in and say, well, nope. I already told her issue. That is the goal, and now it is finished. You will not say anything else about that because now this is the time for her to fix it. So then the child has time to fix it. See? So the next thing that we do is the reason why they say I don't do anything is because the child will sit there and we will have a discussion about a major issue, something very important to my classroom. And when I close the door, when we have the discussion, see, y'all trying to do this shit at Confluence Academy trying to copy, and it wasn't right. You see, because you put in an unstable classroom. This was an unstable classroom that you didn't give me a chance to teach at all. Every practice that I was trying to put in place, they would actually come into the classroom at Confluence and actually rip it apart, or come in and say that I was doing something to the students, or have the students go against me. You see, because at this point they have details about who I am. You see, they telling the students all this stuff to say behind my back, to hurt me, to do all these different things. Nothing to help me, all to hurt me. So we sit in the classroom and we actually discuss everything. And I say at the end of this, if everybody is honest, nobody gets in trouble. And once it's over, it's over. Do y'all know that those students sitting there and discuss everything? And once it's over, it's over. I've never had to go back, even to this day. I've never had to go back over the same thing if we sat in the classroom and had a powwow like that. And it's not even a powwow. Like, they actually take turns talking, and they actually take turns having a real conversation. You see? They actually discuss things. And that actually came from me. Because in my family, if you tell the truth, they still pop you in your mouth and tell you you're going to get your ass beat. You see what I'm saying? It's always something, right? And I'm always doing the right thing. So they always beat my ass for either being right or doing the right thing. You see, I don't have time for none of this bullshit that y'all go through. It's not my bullshit. I don't give a fuck how many stories change. I don't care whatever happened. It's still an insult. It's still demeaning. I have worked too hard and too long to be better than you. And that is what I am. So if you can't deal with it, then get yourself somewhere to fuck on, because I'm not telling you to be in my life at all. And that's the part that seems to be hard for everybody. I'm not telling you to abuse me. I'm not telling you to praise me. I'm not telling you shit at all. I'm telling you to let me get the fuck away from you. Next, new, and you don't know. I go over this every time. If you're a new person, you have a chance to say, I don't know. Like today I wore a dress. She never discussed anything that it had to be clean. She said black shirt and black bottom. That's what she said. I think that's what she said. So that's how it was. Okay, I'm like, I'm gonna buy me some black ass dresses. So anyway, so I like to buy what I want. So anyway, so you knew and you don't know. So what I tell people is, it's like your first year. That's how life is. If it's your first year, it really is take advantage. Even if you know the district, even if you've been there as a sub, take advantage of asking questions. Because the next year, they won't be so patient. You see what I'm saying? These women will sit inside of a room and will actually be like, you know, she asked me about the copies. You know, she asked me about this, that, and the other. You know, he said this. It'll be so much petty shit. That's why they always tell teachers, don't go to a teacher's lounge. You get in there, you heat up your food, and get the fuck out. You don't talk, because they will change everything you say to. They will make everything where they themselves are like a victim. And they were the ones that are running their fucking mouth. And usually those are the troublemakers. Those are the people that don't like certain people at the school. They don't like teachers. They don't like the kids. They don't like the parents. They always got some story to tell. And they probably the ones with the most problems. You see what I'm saying? You ugly, you stink, your breath stink, you know the kids don't like you either, your booty ain't right, all kinds of shit be wrong with them. And they'll still be in there trying to talk about a kid and their mom, which ain't really none of their business. Your job is to teach. Your job is to be a structure for the school. Your job is to be a pillar of the school. But instead, they will actually backbite people and do all kinds of ruthless shit instead of just doing their fucking job. So that's how I end up here now. Because guys, the people that put me here are other teachers. You see? The people that put me here are administrators. The people that put me in this position are people that you would have thought had more sense than what they do now. And now I have to sit here and deal with a family that doesn't understand anything that's going on, because it does not relate to them. Everything you're looking at is a recording from my house, my car, from places they should not have even been recorded. From the classroom. Then they started to stalk my child and go to his school and try to abuse him in school too. Then that don't work. Let's bring you back to Illinois to abuse you even harder. So when does it start to stop or make sense for everybody else? I should not have to wake up to that bullshit. So, anyway, I got to the point where I'm just thinking, does he think that he have to be my stepfather? Because I remember I wrote the letter, I was like, you know, you guys can get to know each other. You know, we could probably have like a family reunion, like everybody get together, have fun, or something. Because even though I talk about everything the way I do, it's good times in there too. You see? So that's all it was. It's just like, let's get together, let's have some fun. Y'all can meet everybody. People can see each other on the street. Maybe build a better network for each other, even friends, all this different stuff. Where you can use the sayings, all this different stuff, you know. Instead, it's just like y'all took it again. Because again, a white boy was involved and crumbled the shit up. A white boy and my dumb ass dad. You see, because I'm pretty sure they the first two people that saw what was going on. Then you got Funky, Mooney Rides in Macomb. Everybody dumb. They dumber than a motherfucker. And they are abusive. or they want to abuse. You see, to be a woman and to have people, not only women, but men be jealous of you and children, that becomes a problem for me all the time. You looking at me now? I'm poor. You see what I'm saying? I don't care how many excuses I have about who I am, they will still find a way to be jealous of me. And it's like, for what? All you gotta do is sit down and do the work. All you gotta do is sit down and do the time. All you gotta sit down and do is look at yourself in the mirror and actually be honest with who the fuck you are. So anyway, this morning I thought, is he trying to act like he my stepdad? I've had one altercation with my stepdaddy, one. And that was, I fought him when he was on the phone with my daddy or whatever. And my dad said he'll come down and beat his ass. I always say, my daddy came down here and beat his ass, and he didn't, y'all. My stepdaddy fought me because he wanted to talk to another woman on the phone. Let me tell y'all the best thing about this, that the way he handled it and the way my daddy did handle it. Whenever my stepdad went to this woman's house, he took me with him. You see, when my stepdad was with the woman and she got sweaters and all this stuff made, he had one made for me too. At no point did anybody ever know that he really wasn't my stepfather, even though I was on trips in Texas. I mean, that he really wasn't my father, even though I'm on trips in Texas with my father. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? So even that is demeaning. And that has nothing to do with color. Even that is demeaning. Because my stepfather was nothing but excellent to me. And he had to deal with that bullshit too. I feel like he was abused too. And I'm not joking. You understand what I'm telling you? If my father decided to wake up every day and think that he could pretend to be that stupid to act like my stepfather, he a hoe. And I actually had to stop and call him a bitch today because that's some bitch ass shit. And he thought I was going to bite my tongue. I asked him again, are you going to take me? You was in here kind of, no, you were in here being a bitch. And if that's what you're going to be, that's what the fuck I'm going to name. You see? I'm not fucking playing with y'all. I never have and I never will. An adult, I had to be a fucking adult to tell these people how the fuck they gonna fucking act at fucking 8, 12, 16. I'm 40 fucking 2 years old. You sit there, and if you are demeaning that man, you wrong. He was there every fucking day. He has been there for my first days of school. This man actually would come to the school looking a fucking clown when I got in trouble. It's not a joke. And in the letter, if I'm just asking you to get to know his children, you see what I'm saying? Like, you know me. Because that's the other thing. Their personalities have been kind of fucked up too. And again, I'm comparing it to white people. You see what I'm saying? Because the stuff they saying, it don't even sound right. It don't sound right at all. So why would white people like that be involved? I don't know you. You were not obedient in any of those families. In any of them. You have a shitty personality, a shitty disposition, and you involving yourself in something that never had to be involved in, that you never had to be involved in. So to get up in the morning and actually pretend to be a man that you don't know, and you hear what I'm saying, a man, not a bitch, a man. He went to work, brought her the money home. You see what I'm saying? He enjoyed his beer and his cigarettes the same way my grandmama did, her beer and her cigarettes. Not one time that man ever talked down to me or put his hands on me. Until that day when I was 15, 16 years old, and me and him got into a fight over the phone because I was on the phone with my dad. You see, even when I told him he was wrong for not bringing their toys for Christmas, that man never raised his voice at me. Until that one day. One time in my whole life, just like my daddy had his one time to spank me. I'm not saying either one of them is better, but I'm saying somebody was there for me more than the other one was, and it's not a joke. So for you to do anything less than thank him for being a part of my life, then thank him for being there for me when he needed to, you a fucking bastard, and I'm not playing. You a bitch. And it's not a fucking joke. I can't say that he is mean or abusive or anything, because he's not at all. My stepdaddy was never abusive at all. And he could have been that. He could have snuck and been like all the other sneaky ass men that came after he left, trying to touch me or something like that, trying to sneak me in the bathroom, hide around the corner and all that different stuff. He never was any of those things, but gentle and kind and patient. Never. And so it's a total put down for somebody to actually, and I can say he was more of a partner than my mother was, y'all. Because remember, I was the one that was married on too. So it's a put down. It's an actual put down. He actually gave my mother life. You see? Because y'all kept her in church and she couldn't cuss and she didn't do this, that, and the other. But sometimes she'll get drunk and have fun and play cards in the projects, sit around with his sisters and all this different stuff. Make sure she protected through everything. And he actually got up this morning and thought that maybe he was him. I don't fucking know. Maybe he was Brandon. Who knows? Either way, it's a bitch move. And it's not a joke. I'm not joking. I don't know who came in and said I was joking or anything. On the papers in my classroom, I was joking. When those men call me fat and ugly and chase me with a phone and rape me, that's not a joke. It should never have been added in anything that I was doing for those students, or even part of me being a writer. None of it. Why would you do that? Why would you think that right now that is okay? That shit is not a fucking joke. You see, my daddy had a chance to bring me to work like it was my first day of fucking school. And this motherfucker actually woke up and told me no, that he wouldn't bring me anywhere. I'm not throwing a tantrum, I'm not throwing a fit. But what I'm telling you is that if that was in it, it caused anything that y'all cause, any fucking thing from this bullshit that y'all been doing, you wrong. Each and every one of you motherfuckers is wrong. Because in my life, I have done everything I can for everybody I can. But you reap what you sow. So go ahead and sow. That's all the fuck I can say. Anyway, today I'm talking about the 7 cognitive biases. A fucking man. I had to stand and think about the goodness of this man. And all the times y'all would tell me that he could do something to me. And he didn't even think about it. You can tell through his life that it never even came to his fucking mind. And you would sit back and try to talk about him. I was his child. I didn't come from no part of his fucking body. His child. Alberto Grant, his child. I didn't come from Naples. Didn't even think about it. You hear me? Not in his fucking mind. 7 cognitive biases. That's why my son gets to see him and I have no worries. If my son want to see him, I have no worries about anything that he would do, harm, or hurt him in any kind of fucking way. The rest of y'all is a fucking shame that I have to actually think about if you're going to hurt my child and take care of him the right way. You know why? Because I know. I fucking know. And y'all will wake up in the fucking morning and think to demean him. When he was there for most of my fucking life. He got time served, bitch. He put in the fucking time. More fucking time than my goddamn mama. Demean somebody else. Suck your own dick. Y'all be getting on my fucking nerves. And what you know what the shit that mean? Go to fuck the jail. That's where the fuck all y'all need to go. Seven cognitive bias. And cognitive bias is when you fuck up your own thinking. So confirmation bias is like where you warp your data to fit your own bias. I talked about this the other day. So it's like you'll like have data and you'll fuck it up. You see what I'm saying? Just like y'all did with my stepdad. Better than any man I fucking know. So yeah, just like that. It's like when you take information and you'll just like fix it. So now it's for you. Just like they done with these stories. Whoever's took the stories now is trying to fix it. So now they are the better person or whatever they think this shit is. Instead of just being your fucking self and loving who the fuck you are. Fuck y'all. Loss aversion. Work harder to keep something that you stole. So it's like you will somebody else owns something and you will actually work harder. You see what I'm saying? You will actually keep pushing me down like it's not mine. Like it's not me. You see what I'm saying? You will work harder for that than actually fixing your own life. Than actually involving yourself in your own actions. You see? So you will actually, that's called loss aversion. Where you will actually work harder to try to be me than try to be your fucking self. To try to be somebody else to make fun of them than to just sit there and be your fucking self. Loss aversion. Because you heard, that's a loss. It's a loss of time, communication, and love that you can have from another person. Next. Gambler's fallacy. Past can change or impact future probabilities. So it'll be like, okay, well, in the past, this would happen to her, so now let me put somebody else through her shit. Don't do that. It's a fallacy. I'm going to handle it different. You don't know who was there to support me. You don't know who wasn't there to support me. You don't know how I had to lead the abuse. You don't know how many times I tried to get out the fucking house or run away or whatever the fuck I could do. You see? That's not some shit I need to be going through again. Nobody should. I wouldn't wish it on my worst fucking enemy. But that's the shit y'all like. You see, you want some toxic shit. And everybody ain't into that shit. Especially not me. And y'all know what happened today? I was like, okay, when the person that you've been abusing gets a chance to abuse you, they will. Because I was going in. Do you hear me? I don't give not two fucks no more. It don't matter if I come in and do good or if I come in and do bad. You still gonna say the same bullshit that you were saying before. So now I gotta fight to show you how good I am. That's not the case. I'm fighting to show you. Actually, I'm not fighting to show you shit. I'm fighting to defend my fucking self. You understand what I'm saying? Because what you think, it don't matter. But what it does is, it's like you sitting up here trying to make me feel as if I have to be lesser than you. Motherfucker, please. You better get your fucking fist balled the fuck up, because I'm not the motherfucking one. Availability cascade. You hear something frequently, but it's not true. That's what they trying to do to me now. It's like, let me tell you that you're not nothing. Let me tell you what you're doing is wrong. You can't do your show. You see what I'm saying? You can't think for yourself. You can't have opinions. You know? You can't tell the truth. You can't go to the police. Forget the FBI. You see? Let them sexually abuse those children, Shantae. Who the fuck are you to tell? Let them murder your mama, girl. You ain't got time to be telling people that. Fuck you, because I'm telling, because you some low-life motherfucking bitches. And you know what they need to do? Go to fucking jail. Have a fucking taco. Hold on. I'm fit. Positive versus negative. I gotta take that off. Frame fit. Positive versus negative. It's like, you gonna take the positive versus the negative, right? Okay, I don't even remember what that is, y'all. I can't even act like I know. I can't. Let me look at it. I'm lying right now. I need that feel good moment, y'all, because I'm lying. Where people decide on options based on whether options are presented with positive or negative connotations. So, sort of like how they take my classroom. It's like, I'm in there and he's like, actually not my classroom, let's say Elder. But he's like, mente rosa. And the whole time it's a joke. The whole time most of the stuff he is saying to me is a straight up joke. Nothing else. That's all it is a joke. And they have actually taken a joke and turned it into evil and disgustingness and all this other stuff. It's not something they actually do. I mean, fucking misery. Being magnificent. Just because many believe does not make it true. And that's something else. Just because a lot of people are telling you that the sun is blue and the sky is brown and the trees are yellow. You see? You get what I'm talking about? You gotta get all this out, all that stuff. Look, you don't gotta believe shit they ever say. Nothing. You have to know yourself that is yourself. And then I talk about this one too. The Dunning-Kruger effect is when you say your abilities are greater than what they are. Y'all, I'm serious. If you done proved it to yourself, guess what? It's true. But if you mediocre and you sitting here telling somebody that they not good enough, and you a low life and you trying to tell somebody they not good enough, but you better, it's a fucking lie. You see, that's the difference in that and imposter syndrome. At least the imposter has like some idea of what they're doing, and then they don't feel like they're good enough. But in this situation, guess what? You're not even close to imposter. You just the person standing in trying to make excuses for what you don't know. So either way, please have a great day. Y'all, I'm a hater. And watch who you demean. You see, because sometimes God's children don't even fuck with you. That's how you get left behind. That's how you become retarded and slow. Either way, it's Shantae Brown Sugar Talk and a Black Unicorn telling you to fuck off if you're my enemy, and I love you and thank you if you're my friend. Have a good day.